In the following chapter, we'll look at a modeling technique known as subdivision surfaces. This is a polygon-based method for creating smooth flowing surfaces, such as this chair or any character or creature that has an organic flowing shape. Let's take a look at how subds work. I'll select the chair seat, go to the Modify panel, and I've got a shell modifier in there to give it some thickness. I can disable that, and let's enable edge faces in the view here with F4. And what we're seeing here are the so-called ISO lines, or the most important lines on the model. Let's go into the Open Subdiv modifier here that's actually doing the smoothing effect and disable ISO line display. And now we can see the actual polygons of the subdivided surface. As we increase or decrease this iterations field, we increase or decrease the level of detail. At 0 iterations, what we see is a non-smoothed or non-subdivided object that's exactly the same as the original base object, or the editable poly down here. As we increase the number of iterations, we multiply the number of polygons by 4 with each iteration. When we go up to 3 or even 4 iterations, it gets very, very heavy. I'm going to bring that back down to 2. And that's probably optimal for this particular object. All right, that's the basic concept of how subdivision surfaces work. There are multiple ways of achieving subds in 3ds Max. The best way currently is what you see I have here, an editable poly base object with an open subdiv modifier on top of it, because the open subdiv modifier is very fast, and it's also based on an open source algorithm, meaning that if that algorithm is implemented in another program, then the subdivision effect will look exactly the same in that other program. In other words, I could take the base level editable poly object here and export it out and then load that same model into, for example, Maya, and apply Maya's version of the open subdiv algorithm, and it would look exactly the same. For compatibility's sake, we want to use open subdiv in 3ds Max and really in any other program if it's an option. All right, next we'll move on to constructing the base object so that it's built out of all quadrilaterals to avoid issues with the smoothing algorithm.